Hey guys, Felipe here with another haircut video. The client came in wanting to get away from the traditional haircut that he has now. So make it really short on the sides, keep the length on the top. And so what I decided to do here is actually section the hair in three different parts. The top of the head, the middle, transition hair, and the sides and back. And so what I'm doing here now is I'm sectioning the horseshoe shape on the crown of the head, and so that I can work separately on the sides and middle part. I'm gonna take my number 2 guard and I'm going straight up into the air. I'm not following the head shape, and so what that creates is creates already a fade from the number 2 to the transition hair. And so after I went around with the number 2 guard, I'm just going around and shaping him up around the ears, sideburns, and neck area. You know, I like to do my shape ups first, so I get that out of the way. Since the client did not want to do a skin fade or any kind of fade, you know, we decided to do a little tape up on the back and sideburns. The only thing here is that I noticed that the client had a very light hair, and so his hair and his skin tone matched together, so I didn't really have to go skin here on the tape up in the back. And not only that, we're trying to keep it professional, and so I did not want to bring up the tape, you know, too high up. So it's more of a natural neckline finish versus a traditional tape up. So what I did there was just tape up on the back and tape up on the sideburns. Here now, just to blend a little bit better and get rid of that hard line in the transition hair, I'm just doing a little bit of a scissor over comb action. I can do clipper over comb, but you know, my clipper over comb, and it's just not that good, to be honest with you. I mean, I can do it, but it's not the best. So I just decide to use my my shears instead. So after that, come over to the other side and I lightly touch it up. I know I'm gonna, you know, the top of the hair is gonna be combed over mostly to his left side of the head, so I'm not gonna worry too much, as I'm gonna do a lot of scissors over fingers action. So what I do here is I section off the hair. I take the banks and I leave them out. So I always do the banks separate, just because the banks always needs to be a little longer than the rest of the hair, so it can lay over it nice. And now what I'm doing is I'm combing the hair all the way across the head to the side that he wants to style to. So in this case, his left side of the head. So I comb over to the left, and on an angle from left to the back, I take my sections according to the length of the sides. I do it and I work my way across the head, and then eventually, once I'm done doing that, I make a V shape. Now the V shape, what it does is pretty much just helps blend the hair better to that specific side that he will be styling the hair to. I'm cutting it a bit shorter than the rest of the hair. As you see here, the hair is laying perfectly and just laying it, you know, beautifully now. So after I do the V section, I go ahead and take the banks and blend it with the rest of the hair. Before, I was combing the hair across to the left, blending the banks together with the rest of the hair. I am lifting the hair up and blending it with the rest of the hair. So it's a little hard to explain, but yeah, I hope you guys get the idea. If not, please just leave a comment below and I'll try to explain it in a better way. Once I finish blending the top, I'm just gonna take my thinning shears and just soften up a little bit more the transition hair. So after I blend everything and I take my thinning shears, I do a little point cutting on the top of the hair just to create a little bit of texture and some movement on the hair. So I go all the way across from the front to the back, and then I cross check everything, and I come across, make sure everything is nice and even, all point cutting. And then that's pretty much it. The haircut is pretty much done. Now just going to use my razor and clean up his neck and shape him up and everything. But yeah, this haircut is a lot easier to do. It's very intimidating at first, especially when you're starting out, but it's very simple. There's no fading. It's mostly scissor work, and so I learned a lot from the British channels. I watched a bunch of videos on British barbers cutting with scissors, and they're great. So I learned a lot from them. Thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, if you have any tips for me, please leave a comment below. Stay tuned, please subscribe, and I'll catch you up on the next video.